I cannot begin to tell you the nerding out, geeking moments we're having right now because you are looking at two diehard fans of you, my friend. Today we have Jodi Meadows from the author of My Lady Jane.
Yeah, we're so excited that you were able to come on and chat with us today. We're super pumped.
Oh, thank you for having me. I want to clarify for anybody who doesn't know, I'm 1/3 of authors.
It's like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
And so, the other authors are Brody Ashton and Cynthia Hand.
Incredible. If you want to just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and how you kind of got into writing, that would be incredible.
Sure. I mean, I think like a lot of people who end up as authors, I've always loved storytelling. And I didn't know it was a job for a long time. I thought books just appeared on library shelves and the nice lady in the library kept handing me more. And it wasn't until I was probably like 11 or 12 that something clicked in my brain that I was like, oh, this is a job that people have to do. I don't know why it never occurred to me before. I was still seeking out authors that I liked.
Yeah.
Before that. But at that point, I was like, oh, if it's a job that people could do, why couldn't it be my job?
Agreed.
Yeah. So
agreed. Yes.
Right. So since then, that's what I've wanted to do. And so when I was about 20, I had a great opportunity to like basically write full time and learn how to write. It took me many more years to actually get my first book published, but I had I don't know, an extremely good luck there to be able to just do everything that I could to learn how to write. So my first published book ended up being my 17th book that I finished writing.
Wow.
What? That's insane.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Oh
so, and I know that like that is kind of skewing the average a little bit. It does not take most people 17 books, but it did. That's how long it took me. But I learned so much from all of those other books that I wrote. They were a really wonderful practice. I learned that I could finish a book.
Yeah.
If nothing else, I could absolutely finish a book and revise it.
I mean, that's the hardest part, right?
Yeah.
The finishing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It can be hard, yeah.
Yeah.
But that was really good for me to learn how to do. And then I got to try all different sorts of genres or like subgenres of fantasy because it's always been fantasy for me.
Us too.
Yeah. It's just
Scratch a lot of different itches
Mm-hmm.
and, experiment a lot. It was hard because I really wanted to be published.
Yeah.
But it was a good time because I got to do whatever I wanted and nobody got to tell me anything.
Yes.
That's incredible.
The freedom, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You always hear about that in musicians as well, right? They get these record deals, and then the minute they get a record deal, their
They have to
artistic
listen.
license goes out the window. It's what the record wants.
Yeah.
And then when you're writing for yourself, you're writing for you and for the art of writing and for the ability to tell the story. And then I get it, though. I would be like, come on, publish one of these damn things. I've written 17 of them.
Right, yeah.
What's the process, right? Like, this is my obsession, is how do you write a book with two other people? Because I've read a couple other series in this, fantasy genre. So Zodiac Academy is two authors. And then what was the other one that was two? The Marked series is like a mother and daughter, I think, write together. But how do you write with other people?
Yeah. And were you guys like friends beforehand, or like how did that relationship develop?
Okay, yeah. So I would say that all co-author arrangements are a little bit different. Everybody tries to make it work whatever is best for that particular group. So Brody and Cynthia and I actually met on book tour for my first book, Brody's first book, and Cynthia's second book. So our publisher was doing a bunch of group tours at that point, and we all just landed on the same tour. We went to Dallas, Austin, and Houston. It was a very Texas February. And we just became instant friends. It was not a long tour. It was just, a few days, but we became fast friends and wanted to be able to spend more time together. We kept in touch. We tried to find reasons to visit each other and do events in each other's general areas because we all live across the country. And when they were here in the DZ area, and it was 2013 now, we were having lunch somewhere, and Cynthia brought it up saying, hey, Brody and I are writing a book together. And Brody got really quiet. Brody is a talker, so this should have been suspicious.
You should have known.
I should have known that something was going on. But Cynthia was like, yeah, we're writing a book together, and, you know, it's going to be so much fun. And I was like, oh, that's so great for you guys.
Tifty, thanks for the invite.
But then Cynthia was like, actually, we want it to be a fantasy book, and we think you should, you know, join us. And I was just so happy to be included that I asked no questions.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
You're like,
so I was like, yes, absolutely, 100% I'm in. I immediately emailed my agent and let her know that I was writing a book with 2 other people. And she was like, okay, cool, good luck.
Does that mean for me?
All right. So about an hour later, I asked, hey, what is our book about, by the way?
details. That's the little stuff. That's no big deal.
Yeah. And Cynthia gave me the general history lesson of what happened to Lady Jane Grey.
Yeah.
And for anybody who doesn't know, it's a downer.
It is.
It's not a good time. It's really not a good time.
It's not.
Yeah. So then we didn't talk about it for a while. It turns out that 6 months before that, Cynthia had pitched the book the same way to Brody, and Brody just didn't say no. She didn't say yes. She just didn't say no. And 6 months after that, this was like a year-long effort from Cynthia. She just did not give up. She knew there was something with this book.
Yeah.
And so then we were all in the LA area doing some stuff together, and we were trapped in the car in traffic.
That's very LA of you.
Yeah.
It's very LA of
Trapped
you.
And Cynthia was like, we should talk about our book. And that left Brody and I with 2 choices. Talk about the book or jump out of the car.
Yeah. I really like the tenacity here. This is pretty good. Put them in a hostage situation, and it will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how you get your co-writers.
Perfect.
That's incredible.
Good to know.
Yeah, so then, but by the time we got out of the car a million hours later, we had just talked about it so much. We were so pumped for it. We were excited, and we had made plans to go to Disneyland the next day. We skipped Disneyland.
What?
We were like, you know what? Let's go to the library instead and work on our book.
My God. And this is a very historically heavy book too, so that's a big lift.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I'm just gonna say I still have not been to Disneyland.
What? We'll take you.
Yeah.
We'll take you.
I mean, I feel like I did end up, pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did okay.
It worked out, but I still haven't been.
Yeah,
Maybe one day.
I feel like, though, I'll be honest, like when I discovered the show before I knew it was a book, and the show, immediately I was like, what is this? And my default is to always look to see if it was based on a book. Immediately found that it was based on a book, purchased said book, read it within a day and a half, and immediately told Amanda about it and was like, you have to read this, you have to watch this. It's incredible. And it felt like Disney for us.
Yeah, it was like a 24-hour. Thank you for not going to Disney. Your loss, our gain.
Yeah.
So it was about a 24 to 48-hour period that we both had consumed the show and the book.
Yeah.
And
oh my gosh.
Yes. It was pretty intense.
Did you sleep?
No. And then it was like I read the physical book. Well, not physical, on my Kindle.
Yeah.
And then was like, I guarantee just the way that this is written, this is probably an incredible audiobook.
Yeah.
So then had to listen to the audiobook. And I mean, I would say top 3 favorite audiobooks I've listened to. It is such a fun listen.
Like laugh out loud.
Just the writing style, the humor, the satire, it is just chef's kiss. It's so good.
The magic in the book.
Yeah.
It was so different from anything else that I had picked up in so long that I just devoured it. We were just like,
it's wonderful to hear.
This is incredible. And so obviously with that being said, we were
we're ready to storm the castle.
Yeah.
Heads will roll.
Get it?
Yeah. It got to the point where now we're telling everyone we know, you have to watch the show, you have to read this book. And we have another podcast where it's like all, we tell folklore and visit spooky, scary places. And our co-host on that podcast, she ripped through the whole series. Yeah. Like, we had just read the first book. She's like, the whole series is so great. And we're like, there is more? Yeah. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's back there.
Yeah, it's incredible. And I think, too, like, there were some things that I wish were in the show. And so when watching, I rewatched the show after I read the book, of course. That's my other default, is to then see, okay, well, what is different? What did they change? What did they leave out? And there were some things that I was so sad that they weren't in the show. And I was like, but it's okay, because I'm sure there will be a second season. So, of course, we'll get all of that stuff in the next one. And then we heard the news, and we were devastated.
Devastated. Yeah. It was a period of mourning for us.
But how does that, I guess we have to rewind a little bit. We got too excited. So how does that process work? Like, obviously you guys wrote this incredible book. How did it then get picked up to become a show? What was that process like for you guys?
Mostly a surprise, honestly. So when the book came out in 2016, and we had some film interest before, there was a producer that was interested. I know they shopped it around a little bit, but at that time, young adult adaptations of like books were kind of waning. So we weren't totally surprised when nothing really happened.
Yeah.
Like, it mostly doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So we just kind of put it aside. We kept working on our other books, and out of the blue, one day, I guess, when was it? I don't know. Sometime later.
Yeah.
Like well over a year, maybe 2 years later, we got an email from our film agent, and she's like, "Hey, there's some interest here. Do you want to hop on the phone with this conference call with the producer, a writer, like all of these people?" Yes.
Yeah.
Is this serious
is
interest?
this a joke?
Where did what happened? What are you talking about? And I'm sure you guys know the story that Gemma saw somebody reading it on the subway and picked it up herself and decided that was the thing that she wanted to work on.
Yeah.
It's truly incredible timing and luck, and it just feels so perfect that it happened like that.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's like adaptation lore, right? That's what you hope will happen. Someone just such a meet cute story. But
absolutely,
it's also one of the best cast shows. Like the way that they cast the characters, because we did, I was lucky enough to not have watched the show before I read the book, where Dayelle went into it having watched already. Yeah. So I kind of got to build the characters in my head, and then seeing them on screen, I was like, this is so much better than I created in my brain. And Emily Bader is just, she's so good. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
She's the perfect
incredible.
character.
She's hilarious. She's a badass, and she's tender, and she's intelligent. She's everything that historically I would think that she would be like. And I think this was such a refreshing adaptation of a story I already knew. And like you said, it's such a bummer, and also hilarious. And the narrator,
the
narrator
voice
is just I am obsessed. Like I was just like, this is incredible. This is so different. And I think that's
narrate our lives.
But it just the energy and everything was just so perfect. It is kind of like the narrator of your lives. Like, you remember like the old rom-coms, like the Meg Ryan rom-coms, where you'd have like the British narrator on the back.
Yeah.
And she, in fact, had a bad day. Yeah. Like, that's how it felt.
Yes. Yeah, I love the narrator in the show too. Like, I think they did a really good job casting everybody, picking everybody.
I was gonna say, how much did you guys get as far as input into any of this, or it's kind of like, this is our story, here you go?
Yeah.
We were not really that involved, which is probably for the best. None of us are working in the film industry, so I prefer to leave that kind of thing up to the pros.
Yeah.
Completely fair.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I feel like that's a common what we've learned from asking other authors the same question is they're all kind of like, nope, we just like we got to see different elements, but we didn't really have a say in the process, and it's. But it is fascinating when you do see a book that is turned into a screen adaptation where they stay so true to the book. Like they really, they kept the integrity of all the characters. There were obviously some changes that we were like, all right, like, okay, I'm okay with that. Was there anything in the adaptation that you guys were kind of like, oh, like I wish they would have kept that element? Or was it pretty much you guys were all for it?
For the most part, I was all for it. There was one part that I was thinking, maybe season 2.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I'm not working on the show, obviously. But the ferret, obviously.
Oh, the ferret! The ferret. And, I mean, the ferret is such a hysterical character that just, I'm with you.
I know.
The ferret.
We also really love, like, in the book when G turns into the horse and Jane, like, reads him books, like, under the tree. Like, those scenes were so beautiful to us. We were, like, waiting for those, and they didn't come. We were like, it's okay. We know that they exist. They're just off screen. They're doing that in private time.
Yeah, well, I mean, in a show, you have to keep things moving really fast.
Absolutely.
So some things just don't make it. But yeah, I think it's probably assumed that they're reading together.
Yeah.
I will say, though, when the show, and I don't want to harp on it because we all know how heartbroken we all are, but when the show got canceled, TikTok was in an uproar. We, like, I thought we were pissed.
Yeah.
We were sending each other TikToks back and forth. People are like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
We are getting, like, the 29 millionth season of Grey's Anatomy, and we can't get the second season of this masterpiece?
Yeah, people were in, like, an uproar. And I think it was really kind of interesting because it felt like it played out so quickly right in front of us. Like, we had discovered the show and the book. And then very quickly after, everybody was like, oh my gosh, have you seen this show? Oh my gosh, it's a book. And then we also then found out it had not been picked up. And we were like, wait, what is happening? What do you mean? It's so good. The story is so good. How could we not get another? And we were so hungry for a good fantasy show that, like, you read this book and you're like, oh, this is going to be an incredible show. You see the show and you're like, this is incredible. And then it was taken away from us. And you're like, no.
There was no letdown. You know, there's, I think this is definitely a tenet to your writing. The three of you did something that translated so well from page to screen, where you think it wouldn't, right? Because you have these people turning into creatures. And, like, there's things that can get pretty ridiculous, you know, if not done well. But I thought it was it was perfect. It was seamless. It was believable. Like, you can't tell me this isn't really how it went down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm convinced.
I agree.
I'm convinced. So, yeah. Just so you know, there was and I don't know if you know, there was a petition that was written. We signed it.
Yeah.
I did too.
Okay, good. But I just kudos to you guys because just the writing and the pace of the book, and we had been kind of lost in reading books for the podcast and not reading for fun, and this was just, when I say a breath of fresh air, just incredible.
And the humor, like, are any of you guys, like, comedians by night or something? Because, like, the humor was so well done, and, like, the way the narrator cuts in and, like, drops all this stuff, it just, like, from reading it to listening and then also watching, you just laugh so much, but then you also, like, the romance aspect of it is so good that you're just like, how are all these elements so perfectly
It's really
in
annoying
there?
how good you guys are.
You guys just mesh so well together.
It was such a fun writing experience, like one of the best.
Yeah.
So when we were writing this book, you probably saw the chapters are Edward, Jane, G, Edward, Jane, G.
Yep.
And so what we would do is we would write in rounds. Basically, we had a really good outline that said, you know, what is each character doing? We each had a character that we wrote. and that we were in charge of. And so we would
this.
write together, at least before the pandemic, we would write together in the same place. We'd have about a week to do it. And every day we would each write a chapter, which is incredibly fast for us, for all of us. But we had a good outline, and no one wanted to be the dork who didn't finish our chapter. And we also had this kind of unspoken contest.
I was just going to say.
Write our chapters during the day, and you could bounce ideas off of the others. Like, what is the word I'm thinking of, right? Like, those things that it stops you when you're writing alone, and you're like, oh, I don't know words anymore.
Yeah.
So you always have a couple other people who are working on the same story, right? And then throughout, like, our writing session during the day, we just, kind of giggle to ourselves, because at the end of the day, we would read our chapters out loud to the group, and we all wanted to be the funniest.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
We all wanted to be the one who, like, made the others laugh the most. So that was the contest.
Yeah. I love that. I love that little fun behind the scenes fact. Like,
Is this a secret, though, who you were in charge of?
Oh, no. I can tell you.
Okay. Go ahead. We're ready.
Okay, so Cynthia wrote Edward, I wrote Jane, and Brody wrote G.
Oh, I love that. That's so amazing. I did not know that. We did not say that in our fun facts. Is that out in the world?
We didn't know.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, man.
I feel like we've said it so many times. I can't
Right.
believe that, like,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be somewhere out there.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
It also explains so much of why the chemistry is so great. Like,
Yeah.
that they're each so uniquely, that it's so good.
What a fun experience. And then when you guys were writing together, I mean, also hilarious, because very often, you're writing something, you do not have to then read it aloud to
Yeah.
your peers that you're writing with. So that just, like, adds that extra layer. I would be very much like you guys and be like, I need to make everybody laugh the hardest.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you can tell that the three, like, I just want to hang out with you guys. You can tell that you have fun, because that sounds
Yes.
incredible.
Also, hanging out in a library instead of going to Disney, I mean, that's kind of our Disney.
That's our jam.
That, that sounds more
could see that.
fun. Less crowds,
Yeah.
less sweaty people. Just in a
Dale's not a fan of
library.
crowds, if you haven't noticed.
I like the library. It's nice.
Yeah.
When we were talking about doing this the first time, so every time we make a podcast episode, we do a cocktail for themed, and we did the My Lady Jane Grey cocktail, and today because we did the episode a while ago,
Yeah,
right?
we
like
did
our
it last
first
season.
last season.
I think so.
No, I think it was our
Was it our
first
first
season. Our
season?
first
Might have
season,
been, yeah.
and I was like, oh my god, I don't even remember what cocktail that was, and we just pulled it up before the episode. I was like, man, that sounds really good. I
Yeah,
should have
we
made
need
that.
one.
That sounds really delicious.
So if you're ever in New York and you want to stop by the studio,
We will
have
make
for
you
drink.
a My
Yeah.
Lady Jane Grey.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. If you drink cocktails. then.
Yes. We could
I
do a
don't.
mocktail.
Okay, good. This one you can't do a mocktail. She boozy.
Yeah.
Because the book was like, especially like the chapters when they're in the tavern and everything, you just have that vision in your head of what it would be like, and just this mixture of these people and the one-liners and the way they spoke to each other. It was like, I just want to be sitting there drinking ale with these sweaty, disgusting men. Why not me? Why not me?
I can't.
It was so fun. Well, I mean, obviously we're obsessed with My Lady Jane, but you can also, what else are you working on? What do you have coming down the pike? I know you're
gosh.
an incredible, we were just looking at your lineup before
and
the episode. We're like,
we see the books behind
she's
you.
like a machine.
Yeah.
I've been doing this. My first book came out in 2012.
Okay.
So I've had a while to make books.
Amass. Yeah.
So my most recent book is called Bye Forever, I guess, and it's back there, and I'm not going to get it because
You're fine.
I'm wearing soft pants today.
Oh,
well,
you're
we did
totally
see your
fine.
cat, by the
Yes,
way,
we did.
and
We saw
I
her.
just want to cuddle the kitty.
I know. It was probably hushed. I don't
It's
think
so
she's in
cute, the
here
black
anymore.
kitty cat.
Maybe she'll come back in. She is really nosy.
Good. We love that.
She's like, I'd like to also be on the podcast.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, like, my cats are, like, my brand, basically.
Yeah.
I love
They're-
that.
I love it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Bye Forever, I guess, came out last fall. It is a middle grade book, but if you like My Lady Jane and the humor, then you will probably like Bye Forever.
Ooh.
It's a. Did you guys see You've Got Mail?
Yes.
Yeah, obsession.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Obsession.
There's a certain age where people don't know what it is anymore. So
We are old.
you know,
now.
I do want to say last fall, Dayelle said, I'm pretty sure my outfits for this fall are just going to be
Meg Ryan.
Yeah. I'm having a Meg Ryan fall.
Yeah.
I loved that movie. I love the anonymous romance trope.
Yay.
Like it's so good. So Bye Forever is about a girl who gets text messages that are not intended for her. And
Ooh.
she gets, at some point, she gets one that is the sweetest love note for somebody with the same first name as her ex-best friend.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy.
But she befriends this kid. They start playing games together, and over some time, she starts to wonder, what if this boy that she's kind of crushing hard on
Yeah, who wouldn't?
is what if he goes to her school?
Oh.
What if she's been kind of mean to him in real life? And what if that message actually was meant for her ex-best friend?
Ooh, this is good. So the aforementioned podcast host of our friend, she's an ELA teacher in 7th and 8th grade. So
Perfect age,
yeah, I'm going to rip through this and I'm going to buy her a copy because that is perfection. Also, I love stories like that because that gets the middle school, pre-middle school age to buy into these really fun meet cutes and tropes that don't really exist in the shows that they're currently watching or books that they're currently reading. And I love that. That's like taking a little bit of the modern stuff, but
era.
bringing it back to, the You've Got Mail stage.
So do you want to know, it's not a secret really, but
Okay.
it might feel like a secret. I get those text messages.
What?
So some of them that are in the book, rewritten to protect the people who texted me, are real text messages.
Oh my god.
Or based on real text messages, including the one that she gets that ends with Bye Forever, I guess. And also the love note.
Wow.
And so how long have you been getting these?
Yeah.
Years.
Oh my
I
god.
started writing Bye Forever
my God.
in like the end of 2017, 2018. I think it was 2018. It was like my side project that
Yeah.
I worked on when I was on airplanes or whatever. Like I just very slowly worked on it for just years before, I guess 2021, where I had a couple of months where I didn't have any work that was due, but I did have work that was coming up, and I was like, well, what am I going to do for a couple months? And I read through what I had of this book, and I had about probably half of it. I was like, I guess I'll just go finish it.
Yeah.
And it was probably, aside from like My Lady Jane, it was one of the most joyful writing experiences that I've ever had in my life.
this.
I went to bed thinking about it. I woke up thinking about it. It was all I could think about. It was all consuming for like a solid month. And I kept sending it back to my agent. It's like, okay, now what do you think? And she would give me edits. I would rip through them in a week. At one point she was like, all right, I know it's 60,000 words. Literally the shortest thing that you've ever written. Cut 10,000 words. It's got to be 50,000 words tops. And I was like, okay, I don't know that I can do that. And she said, I can help you if you want. And it felt like your mom coming into your room to help you clean with a black trash bag.
And you're like, don't touch that. That's mine. Don't touch that.
Right.
I get there.
I was like, she is going to try to cut all the stuff that I love.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do it myself. But it was still, like, even at that part, it was just, I don't know, it was just so wonderful. Every single point of writing that book was a joy. It's probably one of the books that has never made me cry actual sad tears.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, can I just say, and maybe not, we're a little bitter about it, but it sounds like it would be like a killer Netflix
Yeah.
show. You know what I mean? Like falling into that Summer I Turn Pretty vibe that's happening right now. Like there's like a renaissance for these preteen shows, these book to show adaptations. That would be I just imagine her laying in bed getting these messages and like the person, I could totally see it. I could just see it.
Cute.
Like the glow of just your phone at night when you're supposed to be asleep.
But also just listening to you talk about how you felt while writing it makes me feel exactly how I felt while reading My Lady Jane. So, of course, now we're going to have to read this.
Now we have to read it. We have to read it.
I
have it on our next book note.
So I do have another book in that series coming out. It's sort of a series of companions that's coming out this fall called Confessions from the Group Chat. It's also an anonymous romance, and but it's about a different kid. You know, there's the same town, the same school, some of the same background characters, but this one is about a girl who blows up her friend group. It's a little bit of a toxic friend group, to be honest, but she blows it up pretty spectacularly one day, and in revenge, they start posting the receipts of some of the mean things that she said in their group chat about the other students.
Oh my gosh, it's like the burn book from Mean Girls.
This feels so real, like of today.
Yes.
And some of these messages also include things about the boy that she likes.
Oh my God, this is giving me all of that like preteen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love this.
So we literally just reread and rewatched The Babysitter's Club, the very first book from the series. Like, 19...
Chris's big idea.
95. Like,
Man.
yes. And so, like, hearing this stuff is like the modern day, like, that same vibe.
Ooh, I'm very excited. I love that. Okay,
I'm really excited about it, and I can't wait for people to read it.
Wait,
I think it's a lot of fun.
Did the second book give you the same happy feeling? No sad tears?
So far, no sad tears.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think every single book can be like the most favorite and the most wonderful writing experience, but I never write a book that I'm not 100% excited about.
I love that.
You too. And you said that one's
Which
coming out.
some of them get up to like 200.
That one's coming out in the fall.
Yeah, October 21st, I think. Ooh. So, and it's for like all the people who kind of end up saying things to fit in that they kind of regret. And they're like, this isn't really who I am, but this is, I'm just trying to like avoid getting picked on. Yeah. Or
especially at that age.
Yeah.
We are very lucky. I don't know how old you are, but I'm 38, and I'm very lucky that those preteen years, we had AOL Instant Messenger, but that went away.
It did go away.
Was not forever. That was not forever. And you could, talk to somebody, and I know that you could print out your conversations because my mom did once because I got in trouble. But for the most part, you could say what you wanted and it was not there forever. So I love the modernization of this because that's happening. Like that is just every kid can relate to that.
Yeah.
I think so. So I'm a little older than you, and I think one of the things that our generation tends to say a lot is, I'm so glad I'm not a teenager right now.
Oh my God.
Because trying to be a teenager on social media sounds just
terrible.
Absolutely horrible. Yeah. It sounds so stressful and hard. You can't be wrong ever.
No.
So
I really am, and I'm also glad that like some of my phases aren't plastered on the internet for people to see,
It's a constant like comparison and like but it's intense.
Oh, I love that. I'm excited to read these.
I know. Me
It'll
too.
heal our inner children.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I hope so. I do know Confessions is on Edelweiss, which is a publishing thing. Like you can request it, and I think it'll probably be on NetGalley if that's something that you guys use. Yeah. Eventually, I don't know when it will be, but you can request it if you want to read it early.
I will request it.
That's an awesome thing.
I will absolutely request it. First of all, thank you so much for doing this, because this has been like, I truly cannot tell you we have been very excited about this.
Yeah, we really have. When we first reached out to you to see if you would want to be on, when you responded, we were like literally fangirling. We're like, oh my gosh. Like we loved this book so much, to be able to actually sit down and talk to one of the writers is just like a dream for us. So we really thank you so much for coming on and chatting about all the things we love.
And we will,
I really appreciate you asking.
Are you kidding me? Yeah. We'll just keep having you on once
Yeah.
every couple months. We'll just maybe eventually it'll get enough traction that somebody else picks up and finishes the series off for us.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Or
wouldn't that be
another
nice?
one gets picked up and turned into a rom-com.
Yeah.
You know? I'd be fine with that. We can push that.
Yeah. I mean, the rights for the other books are still available.
All right.
You heard it here first, friends.
Exactly. You
heard it here first. Amazon, suck it. You snooze, you lose.
Exactly. So true.
They're fine. They have enough money. They're doing all right. But thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming on, and we'll have to have you back in the fall so you can talk when your book comes out.
Book comes out.
Yeah.
And we've read that.
Yeah,
one.
wonderful.
We would love that.
We would love that.
It'd be super
Thank
fun.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. It was nice to be here.
Bye.
Thanks, Jodi.
Bye.